Hi guys! Ooh, let's get this right. Ooh. Hello, no, wonky. Bit better. Little bit better, isn't it? I think we could put that a little bit further back. Let's see if I can get this light a bit nearer. Is that a bit better? Sorry, I'm just... Okay. Hello. Hi, I'm a little bit late starting today. Sorry, guys. I am actually doing an extra video sandwiched in between this one and the Molly top, which is making a mask. Whoops! Sorry, guys. My mask was under my tripod. I have to reposition everything now. How annoying. So yes, making a face covering mask, showing you how I've made the one that I'm wearing, like so. So I'm going to do that afterwards, but so we're going to have the felt bookmarks, which is what we're going to be doing now. Then there will be the mask video, and then there'll be the Molly top, which I'm wearing. So as always, Alex is there to answer your questions, because it's quite hard for me to answer questions whilst I'm going. Hello to everyone saying hi. Nice to see you here again. And yes, so please do feel free to ask any questions. This will be going up, like all of our sew-alongs, on our YouTube channel. So if you can't stay for all of it, or you can't stay for the ones after this, you'll be able to catch up on them later. What else? So for this, all you're going to need is felt and things, but all the instructions, all the items and stuff you'll need for our sew-alongs, we always put them, sorry, I'm completely not making sense, am I? All the items, all the things you might need in terms of patterns, we will link to them in the description box below. But for this, it's just felt, a bit of sewing thread, and some creativity. And what else was I going to say? No, can't think of anything else. So we'll just keep going. Oh, I know what. The full schedule is now up. Check it out on our link. We usually put the majority of it below, but the rest of it is always up on our sew-alongs page, which you can get to from our homepage, but there's a link to it as well. All of our sew-alongs are free to watch. All we do is ask for those of you who can afford to give us a donation, which you can use our donation page, ko-fi.com, and you can buy us a coffee at the end of this. And thank you to all of you who've been supporting us through all of these sew-alongs. It helps us keep them coming, and we are certainly planning on continuing them for as long as I can do it. So definitely once I'm back in London, we are going to try to keep going on the 3 days, and then long term we're going to try and do it once a week. So the dressmaking that we do on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, we're going to try and continue that. Whether it will be always on a Tuesday and Wednesday, I don't know, but definitely whilst we're still in some form of lockdown, I'll be doing 3 days. Okay, I need to get on and show you. Waffle over. These are what we're making. So, bookmarks. So these are little felt bookmarks for children to use in their books, or adults. So that was the Ladybird. Here is the star. And this is, I haven't stuck that on actually yet. That is the hot air balloon. I need to stick that little bit on. I was going to sew it, but I didn't have the right colour thread last night. So really simple, and you can generally do anything that we have done in our kids sewing so far. So what have we done? We've done the felt flowers. You could do one of those. We've done the monsters. We've done the finger puppets. You could kind of do an idea like that on them easily. Or you can copy some of those ideas that I have done. I thought for today, the one that I was going to do with you all is one with a sun, because the sun is coming. It keeps teasing us and dipping away again, but it is coming. And so I thought I've got some nice yellow felt, maybe a little bit of orange. Yeah. So yeah, let's do that. So they're so easy. All you need to do is you get your felt. Now, I'm going to start off by just cutting a strip. Now, my strip's about 2 centimeters wide, like that, and then it's about 10, 15 centimeters long. It doesn't really matter. It's just long enough so that it will go in your book and hold in your book. And then I'm going to do a sun. Let's do the middle of the sun orange. Now this has actually got some Bondaweb on the back of it, so that's going to be good because I can just quickly iron that on. And depending on the age of children who are doing this, if you don't want to do that much sewing, you can do more gluing and sticking. And if you want to do lots of sewing, then you can do lots of sewing. You can kind of mix it up. And as always, parents and elder sewers, sisters and brothers, you could always do some of the cutting out first if it's hard for the cutting. I sent my old neighbour a pack and she did some felt. They've just bought a rabbit, so they did some little felt what am I trying to say? Little felt rabbits. There we go. Okay, so that currently doesn't look like anything, but what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to iron this on now with the Bondaweb. So if you haven't seen me talk about Bondaweb before, this is the fusible glue that you iron on. Comes with a kind of grease paper behind it. You iron that on, they peel the paper back, and then it looks like that. And then that then fuses on to the other felt with an iron. Now I've just turned my iron off, so I'll just turn it back on. Oops. But if you haven't got Bondaweb, that's absolutely fine. You can just use glue. PVA glue works fine. These are not things that we're going to be washing, so we don't need to worry about it lasting. I'm just using the Bondaweb because it was already on my felt. Ooh, trying to get that nearer, as near as I can get it. So yeah, let's iron that on. I'm just going to literally put it in the middle of there and iron it. Oh yeah. And in the process, I seem to have melted my felt. Oh dear. I was like, oh, this felt can take some heat. Turns out it can't. It's okay though, guys. I'm fixing it. Worry not. There we go. Definitely got yellow felt on the iron. I'll have to sort that out afterwards. So that's now fused. Looks a bit like an egg, doesn't it? So now I'm just going to cut around it. Ooh, it's going to be a big sun, this. So cut around, whee, like so. And then I'm going to just feather into it. I think it might end up looking like a flower rather than a sun, but hey ho, doesn't really matter, does it? Maybe if that was yellow on there, would that look less? That probably would have looked better. Oh well. I think it's meant to be a sun, but oh my goodness, it could also be a lion. I guess it depends on what you think it looks like. Right, I'm now going to take some of the goggly eyes, which we've put in our little kids sewing pack, so you can get them if you get a sewing pack from us, or you can just buy them in bulk. I think Amazon or eBay would have them. If you're planning on doing loads of projects like this, then you might want to get a lot of them. I'm just using a pin to take the sticky bit off the back. Okay. And just do the same on that side. As always, what I'll do once I've done this one is I'll tell you how I made the others so that you can copy those. Okay, there we go. Dup, 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 dup. Alex has just put a link up to the activity packs if you want to get your hands on one. Now I think our son needs a little face. So what I'm going to do, I've put the little bookmark bit, hung it down behind, and I'm just going to pin that in. Okay, Then I'm going to take my needle. I think I've got lots of needles on here, yeah. I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to take some thread. So you can use a couple, 3 strands of this embroidery thread, or you can use the full amount. It depends how big the eye of your needle is. I'm using the needles that come in the kids' packs, and I've found that these usually are okay for all of the threads. But let's see. No. Let's do it again. Better. There we go. Okay. So let's put a knot in it. There. Right, so now I'm going to put a little face on it. So sorry, a little smiley mouth. So I'm going to go up through from behind, and I've got my knot in it at the back there. Now, if you're new to sewing, what you might want to do is knot the 2 ends together so that you can't unthread the needle, because that's something that happens a lot, especially with children when they're little and learning. That can happen a lot. What is going on here? I'm getting into a right pickle. There we go. So that means that that is knotted down at the bottom, but mine's free, and I'm just going to keep an eye on that and make sure I don't run out. So I'm going to do what we call a back stitch. So it's like a running stitch, but it's so this each stitch is next to the one before it. So you go down at the end of the last stitch, and then you come up beyond, like there. So beyond where you want that stitch to finish, and then you go back in. Okay. So, ooh, that was a funny angle. So then you go like that. And then back in at the end of the first one. I'm not actually showing you. There you go. It's very difficult, sorry guys, with this iPhone filming. Really not giving you what you should get in terms of close-ups. Okay, so that's what that's done, is it has stitched on the back piece, and it also, because I went through all the layers, but it also has given me a little face. And now I'm just going to tie a knot in the back and cut my thread off. Now, what you could do if you wanted to make it very tidy at the back is you could cut another circle out of the same felt, and you could glue that onto the back so that you can't see those stitches at the back. It's completely up to you whether that bothers you or not. But there's our little sun bookmark. So let's have a look at the other ones that I did, and you can decide on whether you want to have a go at those. So this is the star. So what I did here is I cut out a big star shape, and then I used that as a template, and then I drew around, well, I drew around that. Obviously, you can start off with a star template and draw around that one. And then from there, from that template, I drew a smaller star following the lines, but a little bit smaller, and then cut that out and used that for the pink. And then another smaller one, again in the same technique for the middle, so that they're kind of little bit out, but they're pretty similar in terms of their shape. And then I stitched big star stitches. So I started in the middle and I went out to there, and then underneath I came back in the middle, and then I went out to there, and then back underneath, and then came out from the middle and back to there. And so my stitching is also like my star. Now I kept it open at the back so you can see, but I probably would put a little green circle or something and glue that on the back to hide that. So that's the star one. This is my ladybird. So my ladybird, if you look at it from the back, it's actually, this is one piece, okay? And he has that black underneath so that you can see that. So the circle, I cut a red circle, and then I just cut it up and split it open. And then I made little black circles out of felt, and I stitched them on. They've just got one little stitch. And what I did, as I was sewing them on, I kept that open position of the ladybird's wings. So that's how I kept that like that. And then I stitched on from here through there. You can't see it because the thread is black, but I stitched on the stem of the bookmark and put some little goggly eyes on. And then the, ooh, where is it here? Hot air balloon, haven't finished that one because I must glue that. So the hot air balloon, I started off with my balloon shape, and then once I had my balloon shape, I then drew a smaller balloon shape on the inside and then cut that out. So I used a kind of template of this to get the shape of that. And then I did exactly the same with the third piece. So it's 1 piece, 2 piece, 3 piece. And then I stitched this like this around here. Okay, and then I'm meant to be gluing this on, but I did some stitches around the bottom there just to anchor on the back of my hot air balloon, and then that will just be glued on like that. And that's how you do them. So let's have a look at the range. We've got our sun, we've got our hot air balloon, we've got our star, and my favourite, the ladybird. Okay, I hope that you find that an fun project to have a go with. Mix it up with your gluing or your bonder web or your sewing. You can do as much sewing as you want, and always it's just big stitches. It's all really easy stitching, and even if you don't want to do any stitching, you could just make the tops of these just by gluing, and then you could just stitch on the stems. So yeah, depending on your level of sewing, depends on how much you can do. I can't even hold them all together. Okay, there we go. So I hope you enjoyed that, guys. Next week, we are going to be using embroidery rings to make landscape pictures out of it. So we're going to be drawing. We're going to be creating kind of pretty pictures that you can hang on your bedroom walls. So landscapes, it could be mountains. We could be doing a meadow of flowers. We could just be doing the hills with some little sheep on it. So tune in this time next week to have a go at that. Thanks for joining me, guys. I will be back in 10 minutes to show you how to make the masks. Now, because I want this to be a standalone video, the mask one, I won't be answering any questions or doing my normal hello. Alex will be there to answer the questions, but we're hoping, because this will record, we'd like it to record and be up there as a standalone video rather than a sew along in the normal way. But then at 2 o'clock, I'll be back in the normal way, making the molly top, which I'm wearing, so we can chat away when we're doing that. Okay, see you soon. Bye.